I finally read a couple books off my countdown. Let's get to it. All right, so I don't know what I'm doing. I feel out of practice this week. It's been a little over a week since I recorded a video, so bear with me today. Hi, I'm Sandy, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am bringing 1001 Book Countdown, which I'm very excited about because it's been, as I said, a little bit since I recorded a video. And if you're not familiar with 1001 Book Countdown, I'll leave a card up here for you where you can go and check out the original video and all of the details about it. But basically, I'm reading books off of that book, which is the 1001 Books You Must Read Before You Die. I cannot point on here. 1001 Books You Must Read Before You Die list. And just working my way through and documenting my process, which has been a lot of fun so far. But I have a long way to go. So consider giving me a subscribe and like this video if you want to see more of this. And I'm excited though, because I have a couple of good books to share with you today. So the first thing I'm going to do before I forget is go ahead and put up my numbers, which are 943 and 45, and 45 is my 2022 number. And we're just going to go ahead and jump into the books. The first book is a book that I read with Alice from Alice and the Giant Bookshelf, and it is What I Loved by Siri Hustvedt. So this book was published in 2003 and is kind of it looked like her third work of fiction, and but her most recent work was actually in 2021, 2019, as far as nonfiction goes. No, see, that's wrong. Her fiction book was in 2019. She recently, in 2021, had a nonfiction book called Mothers, Fathers, and Other Essays. So yeah, I hadn't heard of this author before I picked this up as the buddy read, and it is the only work of Hustvedt that is on the 1001 list. So let's talk a little bit about the book. The book is separated into three different sections, which is also interesting considering the other book I'm going to talk about today. The first section really follows a character whose name is Leo, and Leo is has met this artist who lives in his building, and they build a relationship, and it's really just kind of meanders through Leo's meeting that family and really getting to know them, and they each have kids while they're getting to know each other. And one of the characters' names, who is Bill, is a artist, and so there's a lot of conversation in this first section about art, about lots of different works. There's a lot of references to other books, which I'll talk about when I'm done with this one as well. But that first section just kind of meanders through. It takes a little bit to really get into that first section. I'll say Leo wasn't very likable in the first section. He was one of the characters that you just kind of go, oh boy, okay. But as you kind of go along, you get to know him and his wife and their kids and the other couple, and you start to just develop almost a bit of a relationship with them, which was really an interesting way of doing it. Part 2 introduces a whole lot of additional just traumatic events that happen. The first line even in part 2, and you get a really good feel of what that section is going to be about. Part 2 gives Leo makes him much more, I don't know if likable is the right word, but makes him much more relatable. And I think section 2 was probably my favorite section, even though it was hard to read it. It was by far the one I related to the most, the one that just kept me turning the pages. And then the last section goes on and is more chaotic, I'd say, and more troubling. I can't talk about it too much without giving away a whole lot of details about it, but that last section just really was very, very, lots of different things happening. You don't know who is doing what in some cases, a bit of an unreliable narrator in one of the characters, or just an unreliable character. He wasn't really narrating the story, he was just unreliable. And you weren't really sure what was going to happen in the end. The very ending, it was a bit anticlimactic for me. I still really enjoyed this book quite a bit, but the ending was just kind of okay, and I was looking for maybe a bit more of resolution. sorry, a bit more of a resolution between all of the different characters, because a couple of the characters at the very end just kind of got left out. I mean, and I wanted to know what happened really to all of them. And so really interesting book. I did, like I said, really enjoy it. I'm not sure how you would describe this from like a type of a book. Lots of different ratings. I put it right around a 3.5 star-ish. I think Alice rated it a bit higher, but yeah, it was a fun read. I mean, fun. Fun's not really the right word. It was a good read. It wasn't one of those books that you get warm and fuzzy, happy feelings about. There's a lot of just really difficult content at times in this book, and like I said, you have to hang past the first section, because the first section, yeah, Leo's not the most likable, but you get past that and it was a decent book. So yeah, that was the first book, What I Love by Siri Hustvedt. And with that, we get to go from 943 to 942, and it is on my 2022 list. So we are going from 45 to 44. Amazing. All right. So the second book I don't actually own. I have a digital version of it, but it is The Nose by Nikolai Gogol. And this book was written between 1835 and 1836. The whole reason why I ended up reading this particular book is because in this, they actually mention it. There's a scene in the very beginning where they describe a work of art that has a body part that's moving around and is dressed, and that is very much the case of what goes on with the nose. So the nose is also separated into 3 parts, which I didn't even connect until I was doing a little bit of research for this video today. But the nose starts off with a barber waking up and discovers this random nose at his house, and cannot remember where it came from or why he has it, and is all worried about suddenly he has this weird random nose. It's not described as grotesque or bloody, or it just is like almost like a prosthetic nose that has shown up at their house. So the first part is all about him and what to do with this nose, and he tries to get rid of it. He tries to get rid of it by throwing it off the bridge. And the second part of the book is a person who wakes up and has no nose and is trying to figure out what in the world happened to his nose and is searching for his nose everywhere. Doesn't talk to the barber, who is the one who had the nose come up in the beginning, but is searching everywhere for his nose. And his nose is spotted around town and is wearing clothes and is wandering around and is talking to people. How? I don't know, but he is, and his nose is almost more successful than he is as he's wandering around town. And he does at one point have a conversation with his nose. It's a weird book, a short 40-page book. The last part is the same person actually having a nose back on his face. And so, yeah, it was just this bizarre little 40-page story called The Nose, where the nose has a life of its own. And so, yeah, it was referenced in What I Loved, but it is on the 1001 book list, which I think is amazing. So that book will take me from 943 to 942. Nope, so close. It's really takes me from 942 to 941, and I'm pretty sure the next number is also wrong. But it's not on the 2021 list, so 2022 list. I don't know why I keep saying 2021. It's not on the 2022 list, so that number stays at 45. Told you. It wasn't 45. It stays at 44. Yeah, I'm still behind, definitely behind. At this point, we are, about 10 weeks into the year, and so I should have read 10 off of the list, and I've read 6, 5-ish, 6, no. 52 minus 45 is 7. That doesn't sound right, but yeah, I am definitely behind with it. So what have I started this week to help me? I don't even know if getting caught up is the right word, because I still have a lot going on right now. I'm still running between here and my parents' house. And so I'm just taking it kind of one day at a time, and wish I could put out more videos. It's just not in the schedule right now. So What have I started? I have started Midaq Alley by Naguib Mahfouz. You can see there's a great bookmark in there because I'm a good third of the way through this book. And this one is really fun so far. Basically, Midaq Alley is, you're just going through all of the characters that live in that alley. And it's a bit like a soap opera, a drama, soap opera and a drama. So yeah, it's really a fun one right now because you're still learning who all the people are who live in the alley. So yeah, that's one that I have started, which is on the 2022 list as well. And then I have Blood and Guts in High School by Kathy Acker. There is a bookmark in this as well. I'm doing this as a buddy read with Stephanie Cohen. She is significantly farther ahead. I just started this morning. This book is weird and lots of trigger warnings probably in this book. And this book is not for all age groups. I will say that right up front, but this is the second one that's also on the 2022 list. So that's amazing if I could make it through both of those next week. And then of course, the other book that I'm working on, which is my 1001 book club pick, which is War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. I am over halfway through. I am slightly behind on kind of a month of reading schedule, which I think I'm only about 50 pages off of that pace right now, which isn't too bad. I am finding it very entertaining. The Russian kind of components of it, where it's the people and what all their relationships and their relationship building and the drama is really interesting to read. Their war sections are very brutal, very difficult. A couple of the surprises I had, I didn't realize, having not read this, that it's about Napoleon as far as the war side goes. I had no idea. So yeah, I've been really enjoying this and enjoying the conversation on Discord. It's been a really surprising read. It is much easier to read than I anticipated. So yeah, I am guessing that I will finish this by the end of the month. That is what the current schedule is. Fingers crossed that I keep that schedule because I have a whole boatload of additional reading that I would love to be able to do. I also over here, somewhere, if I can point in the right place, over here, have a stack of middle grade books that I would love to be able to read. So, but I don't know that that's going to happen either. I think that's a case of my eyes being bigger than my stomach and that kind of that food analogy. But the other book that I have started reading is A Walk in the Woods by Bill Bryson, but this isn't on the 1001 Book Countdown. I'm doing this as a buddy read with Tiffany from Beautiful Minutia, and you can see here we've got a good bookmark in it, and we're on track to read the first part by this weekend. So yeah, making some good reading progress, but haven't finished a lot of other books so far. But what are you reading? I'd love to hear down in the comments. Are you reading War and Peace? How's it going? You pretty happy with the amount of reading I've been able to do given everything else I have going on right now. But yeah, I would like to get back to being able to make more videos. It's just still not in the cards. So, but as always, like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, everyone, thanks. Bye.